Hey, what's happening, audience? I want to record a short video today. Yesterday, I recorded a really long one. But in this video, I want to send a message about a specific distinction. Distinction about, sometimes we call false light or Luciferian way, and obviously the true light or the Jesus way. Again, it's archetypical path. And you can see that whoever wins in the matrix, they are mastering the Luciferian way, the sex and black magic. And you can see the theme about this. First of all, they have to enslave the innocence. That's how they get the energy from. They have to create situations of lust. This way, they raise their passion energy. So, upon fulfillment of the lustful passions, they experience a certain type of ecstasy, the dirty type of ecstasy. And when they are in a state of that dirty ecstasy, they are technically in a higher vibe and they manifest from there. Okay, that's basically textbook black magic. Okay, now as you can see, at no point in this trajectory, in this path, there was any kind of talk about alchemizing first before engaging in fulfilling that desire. Basically, what I'm trying to say, this is how to master to fulfill your ego desires. That's the path of the villain, and that's a false light. And it does have this charm, it does have attraction, and all of these different things. And a lot of gullible people fall for this. Okay? But that is nothing to do with source. It's an energy manipulation to imitate the frequency. However, this path has first of all, it has a limitation. It cannot surpass a certain level of frequency. So it cannot be higher it cannot be higher than a certain level of frequency. Okay? Therefore, it can never be more powerful than the true light. Let me explain what happens. The second thing about this is that anybody who follows this Luciferian path are going to go to hell. That's what they say in the Bible. But just not even looking at the Bible, what happens is, like, energetically in the consciousness, is that they're disconnecting themselves more and more and more from the source, and they're going away from it, right? So, like I said, they get to this fifth density level of vibration with that their Frankenstein and fucked up way of having the high vibe. That is an addiction. There's a dependency. So when that part is over, then let me explain how that ends. They crash and burn, and they have the very painful experience, and they're going technically through this withdrawal. And a lot of people like that are going through like that. And I hope that they have what it takes to alchemize that pain and actually go back on the right path, because they have to start from the beginning, you understand? And it's hard because the people like, oh, I was on the top of the world, uh, doing this stupid ass fucking shit, and now they're completely crashed and they have to start off from the scratch again. But it's not too late. They can, and they can alchemize that horrible pain, and they can go back to the same level of frequency, but on the correct way. Okay, so everybody is technically redeemable. I'm not sure if anybody can handle that, and so if some people went in towards this path and dabbled in this black magic shit, and they don't know what's gonna cost them, then they may be in a surprise situation where they can't handle themselves and they will need help from uh, um, other assisting facets of consciousness to rehabilitate them. But anyway, besides this point, okay, this video is about specifically the wrong path and the right path. Now, as you can see, to be the winner in the matrix, you have to be this Luciferian black magic artist. That's what makes you into winner by in the matrix winner by definition. This is why I realized that quite some time ago, and I realized that don't even try to be successful in the matrix. I'm probably not saying anything new, but there is a real success, and it's not in this matrix society. There is a success in the holistic society, but you can be still successful as an artist, successful everything. But it's not gonna be on the same machine. Um, and right now, what people call like independent artist or whatever, right? And posting on decentralized social media or channels or you see what I'm trying to say, okay? But it's not a it's not matrix, okay? So this is why this pull towards being successful needs to be dropped if you want to go the right path, the right way, you know. And a lot of people are addicted to this, and they still want to be quote unquote successful in the matrix. A lot of my friends too, which are not friends anymore because of this very reason, because I tried to explain to them that, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You know, you think that like, oh, you're gonna do your good in the matrix. All your good is going to be somehow bad. So don't try to be successful in matrix. You gotta do it different way. But they didn't want to listen to me, so they're gonna have to learn to their own experience. So that brings me to the true way, and the true way is about alchemizing your ego tantrum and finding your soul desire. I mean, I'm repeating what I'm saying, but in this video, I want to say that there is a distinction. Everything, and there's another thing, everything that's been manifested through this dark way, this lust way, is going to be taken away. And you're going to have to do it from scratch again in the right way. Okay, this is why like all these manifestation videos, like um nobody's teaching people. They say like, oh no, yeah, just you can have whatever you want, this Aleister Crowley, do as thy will. No, it's bad news bears, and that's why all of these manifestation videos can be scrapped, and and it's nothing to do with how you truly manifest your soul desires, because they were all to manifest your ego tantrums. Okay, and if you're successful in manifesting your ego tantrum, you just created unnecessary pain to yourself. You just pacified your addiction. And so that's why you can see some videos saying like, well, I manifested everything I want and I end up being the most miserable than even before starting. Exactly. And so you learn it the hard way if you do this. And so I mentioned this passion that has been created through creating incorrect relationship dynamics, basically, right? Like, but it creates a passion. For example, if you have like open relationships, or this like ethical monogamy, radical monogamy, whatever the fuck this shit you come up with, that creates this dirty passion in you. And it does raise your vibe, and it does work to manifest stuff. But like I said, the cost, man, first of all, you're going to lose everything. Second of all, you're going to go through hell. you know, and and in the end, it wasn't even worth it. That wasn't even success that where you were trying to accomplish in your soul. You see, it is like the worst, actually, the worst way to play the game of life. But it's very alluring, and anyway. But of course, you can't sell this nonsense to everybody. But there is a true passion after you alchemize these distortions, these addictions that you had to use your black magic or funky ass magic to create that. Now, once you alchemize that, you don't want to pacify those ego tantrums, but you do end up having, your soul desires, and you don't do this out of lack. You do this out of fun. You're creating stuff out of fun, and so then you measure everything based on, are you having fun or not? And if you just hang out with some people and you say like, am I having fun? Not really. You don't hang out with. And it's like, is this fun? Is it fun here to me? Nope. All right, that's not it. And so that's how you start judging whether it's worth engaging onto something or not. Fun, enjoyment. And as long as, and if the second like you don't enjoy something, you there's no one obligating you to stay, right? And honestly, like all of these Matrix games are not fun for me. They're just not fun. I don't even see how can anybody. Anyway, but I understand. Anyway, what I want to say next about the passion, the true passion. That true passion comes online as you alchemizing, and it does not need to have this fucked up relationship dynamic in order to raise that passion. The passion is already there, and that's actually where that bliss comes from, because even at the highest level, at the highest 0 point state of consciousness, there's unity. There's also a separation at the same time. There's a separation, and then there is unity at the highest states of consciousness. And unity creates the peace, separation creates the passion. So it's like the passion comes from the fact that you may feel the unity or connection. Take, for example, with another person, like between a man and a woman. You feel love so strong that the very fact that there is a separation between you two creates passion in itself. You don't have to open the relationship and create that passion, in fact, and call yourself free, because like, a man says like, well, I want to do, have multiple women, and then the woman says like, oh, all right, okay, so that creates this lust passion, and so that's false light, or vice versa. That's all distorted. And in this case, what I'm trying to describe here, it is not necessary, because and this type of passion, it's, first of all, it's clean, and second of all, it cannot be compared to the dirty type of passion. Okay, it cannot be compared. It's very crisp and clean, and so much more magical. It doesn't have a crash either. These peaks, these ecstatic peaks that happen, don't have a crash. The life becomes just like either heavier on the bliss or heavier on the peace, but there is no crash. And so you see what I'm trying to say. And you manifest from this passion, from the true love passion. And all thought forms created from the source, the real source, not artificially created light, but the real source, uh, are way more powerful by design of consciousness than those um, Luciferian lights. And you know what happens when somebody creates a thought from that is stemming from the highest form of light? The shit that they were experiencing and thinking that they're powerful, that ecstasy, is no longer satisfying them, and they begin experiencing pain. Okay, it becomes that this, it's just as an example, the sixth density and the seventh density light is stronger than the false fifth density light, and so the fifth density false light individual experiencing the burning, since the pain inside of them, and so therefore once they start experiencing that, they cannot sustain their magic. And this is what's going on right now. Their magic stops working. They can do hundreds of rituals and they're going to pull up pain inside of them, not ecstasy anymore. And it's only because there's more sixth and seventh density thought from floating around right now. And that's it. Um, the true, the real light has surpassed the false light, and the party is over. And the party is over for them, and the party is over for the Matrix society. But there's a new society that is being born, and that's where all the fun's going to be. And you can't come into this uh, unless you are in a genuine vibration, and you can't trick anybody. Okay, so bad news bears to the false light individuals. So anyway, that's the whole point that I'm trying to communicate. Um, don't fall for this false light bullshit, okay? That's the whole story is about the vampires. That's the whole story is about all sorts of Lucifer, and many other stories. But they do exist. Damn, you know. Um, and of course, if you're a man or a woman, don't fall for this, man. Don't become a B66 or a Babylon whore, or don't be a Judas or a Jezebel. Uh, and don't go towards that false light, right? You may experience these temptations to go there, and you know what I'm trying to say. You may be driven towards like the right path, but there's still some temptations. It's like, hey, you can get this really quick fix situation, you can get it right now, you don't have to wait. And so don't fall for this. Trust the timing, right? Stay as close as possible to the 0 point. um I say this right now. I say accept what is, which means that's gonna put you at the 0 point. There's no thinking, no analyzing anymore. You accept what is. Dream about whatever you want, okay? And that's, you dream about what you want because it's fun. Do what you have to do, and that's it. Accept what is, dream about whatever you want, and do what you have to do. It is pretty simple. And then if you keep doing this, if you keep living through this motto, you are going to, little by little, you're going to see some things may go away. If you manifested them through this bullshit light, they will go away. But the real things are going to start coming to you little by little as time goes by. And they're going to be here to stay with you. And it's going to come in a perfect timing, exactly when you need it. And you're not going to rush anything, because you're not going to experiencing this need for rush. Because if you accept everything that is, everything is amazing in a real time moment. There's bliss and peace right all around. If you dream about what you want, you get to have that experience, the form of bliss and peace. And if you do what you have to do, then you're gonna get your physical things in order, your finances and stuff like that. That's it. And that's how you're gonna become successful in the holistic holistic society way. And you can be totally successful in this way, because being successful in the matrix right now is like the worst place to be, on emotional level. It's bad news. Okay. Anyway, hopefully I've sent the message. Hopefully it landed. I'll see you soon. Take care.